After many leaks and speculations, a few days ago Rockstar has announced that the 14-year-old beloved game from the PS3 and Xbox 360 era is finally heading to PC after the ports to Nintendo Switch and PS4 last year. The game has been ported by Double 11, a UK-based studio which previously has worked on titles such as Prison Architect, the LEGO Harry Potter series, and Rust, to name a few. Their most recent porting effort was Grounded for Nintendo Switch, PS4 and PS5 this year. Famous Rockstar leaker Test2 calls the original game as having spaghetti code, which basically means that the original source code is a mess and hard to work with. Apparently, Double 11 has successfully overcome this hurdle and we will see native HDR support for the first time ever, something that was not included in the PS4 and Switch releases. Additional notable PC features include DLSS 3.7 and FSR3 support, and also DLSS frame generation. These features are no doubt here to also pave the way for GTA 6 in the future, but it's always nice to see extra modern stuff as it is not standard for every new release, let alone a port. More traditional PC features to ship with the game are support for higher resolutions and frame rates, and ultrawide support, along with extra draw distance and quality sliders. PC players will also get the Undead Nightmare expansion, just like with the previous re-releases, and sadly the multiplayer mode will not be included here either. The first part of the discussion surrounding the news is in regards to the system requirements that have been revealed alongside the announcement. At the very least, you will need an Nvidia GTX 960 and a 4-core Intel i5 4670 to run this game. Gamers are not happy that an apparently 14-year-old game requires an 11-year-old CPU and a 9-year-old GPU to run. They completely missed, of course, that the game is going to be a native DirectX 12 app, otherwise it wouldn't get DLSS support, and DX12 was first supported by the GTX 900 series. But since PC gaming will be PC gaming, you will see a lot of people stuck on 12-year-old laptops trying to play the newest titles. You can't please everyone, I suppose. The recommended specs include an RTX 2070, which is a 6-year-old mid to high tier card, and a Ryzen 5 3500X Zen 2 CPU, which is celebrating its 5th birthday this year. Since we do not know what the target frame rate and resolution is with these recommended specs, it could be anywhere between 4K 60 or 1080p 60 for all we know, or anything between. So we can only speculate why these are the recommended specs. Personally, I hope that Double 11 managed to ramp up the simulation elements of the world with those additional quality options that were announced, and we will be able to see more pads, perhaps corpses and bloodstains staying longer in the world, or even more NPC interactions happening that justify mainly the CPU recommendation here, since it's similar performance-wise to the current gen consoles. Again, this is sheer speculation and we will get a clear picture on the 29th when the game launches. And now for the more juicier part.
The juice is loose.
Gamers are pushing back hard because the title will cost $50 at launch. Some angry posters are calling for a boycott. Whether or not the price tag is warranted is up for debate. The Switch and PS4 releases also launched with the same price, with less features to show for it. It seems at first glance that Double 11 went beyond of a simple re-release of the already existing ports and took the time to give PC players additional features, but players want a smaller price tag because, and I quote here, it's a 14-year-old game. I think there is some merit to this argument, however, Double 11 doesn't set these prices, Rockstar and Take-Two does, based on extensive market research. They think that additional time and money invested to hire a porting studio to bring the game to modern platforms with modern features warrants this price tag. Are they greedy? Sure, of course they are. They will set the price as high as people are willing to pay for it. It is up to the players, of course, to vote with their wallets, as always. But the other side of the coin that people seemingly forget about here, that plenty of people think that because a game is old, it immediately should be cheaper. But this argument doesn't really hold up if you do a little bit of research. Red Dead Redemption 1 on the Xbox still costs $30, and that does not include the Undead Nightmare expansion. Call of Duty 2, and I'm talking about Call of Duty 2, the game that came out in 2005, still costs $20 to this very day. And not to mention other game companies. Nintendo, for example, never offers any discounts. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom still costs $70, and that is a year-old title. Probably it will cost the same in 10 years as well. Titles that are 5-year-old and beyond, such as Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening or Mario games, still offered at $60 at Nintendo. Rockstar would be fools to underprice the game, as it is in very high demand and ridiculously well loved. But to examine both sides of the argument, the multiplayer mode is also missing in action here, which adds some additional fuel and merit for the people who are not happy about this. Price. Multiplayer was great in the original Red Dead Online. It would have been nice to see it here, but since the Switch and PS4 re-releases also omitted this feature, it was to be expected. But again, I like to play a bit of a devil's advocate. Let's not pretend that some of the people bashing the game are doing it because of the missing multiplayer mode. They are simply happy to use any excuse to create a faux outrage. Reactionary hate culture is very much in for video games and media in general on the internet right now. Almost every new release seems to be controversial in some regards. Rockstar daring to price their game at $50 seems to be the end of the world for some gamers. Let's be real here. With some people you can never win. Even if they gave the game away for free, they would still find ways to complain, and you know it. From my perspective, I think that the price tag is worth it for this game specifically. The original Red Dead Redemption is one of the best games ever made, without exaggeration. It surpasses even the second entry in the series in many ways, and with these modern features it will be elevated even higher to provide the ultimate experience for PC players. I think the argument that the game should be cheaper just because the original release is 14 years old simply doesn't hold up. If you think it does, you can still play the PS3 release or the newer Switch releases. As always people, vote with your wallets. If you waited 14 years to buy this game, you can wait 4 or 6 more months longer until it gets 50% off. Or if you are hyped and happy to play it and don't think the price is outrageous, then have at it. See you later, cowpokes.